The night was unusually quiet over Jerusalem. The winds moved softly through the ancient streets, while the stars above the kingdom seemed brighter than ever before. Inside the royal palace of Prophet Dawood Alayhis Salam, a child had just entered the world. To the people, he was simply the son of a great prophet and king. But beyond human sight, something far greater was unfolding. The unseen world had already begun reacting to his arrival. Deep within abandoned ruins, empty deserts, and hidden caves, the Jinn sensed a change they could not fully understand. This child was not born for an ordinary life. Allah had chosen him for a destiny no king before him had ever carried. As the years slowly passed, signs of wisdom appeared in him unlike any other child. He listened more than he spoke. He observed everything around him carefully. While others chased entertainment and distractions, Sulaiman searched for understanding. Prophet Dawood saw something extraordinary growing inside his son: calmness, intelligence, patience, and a heart deeply connected to Allah. Even the elders of the kingdom were amazed by the way the young boy spoke during important discussions. It was as if wisdom had been planted inside him long before he could fully understand the weight of his future. But far away from the palace walls, another creation watched silently from the shadows. The Jinn moved through the unseen world, carrying pride, power, fear, and secrets hidden from mankind. Created from smokeless fire, they lived in places humans rarely entered: beneath ruins, across empty valleys, inside caves, and beyond the reach of ordinary eyes. Some among them were righteous, while others were filled with arrogance and darkness. For centuries, they believed no human could ever truly control them. Kings rose and fell. Empires appeared and disappeared. Yet the unseen world remained untouched by human authority. But destiny had already begun changing. Allah was preparing a child who would one day command what no ruler in history had ever controlled before. Strange whispers slowly spread among the Jinn as Sulaiman grew older. Some feared what was coming. Others dismissed it as impossible. How could a human being rule over creatures made from fire? How could the unseen world ever bow before mankind? Yet the signs continued growing stronger with every passing year, and the hidden world quietly waited for the moment Allah's plan would finally be revealed. As Sulaiman matured, Prophet Dawood trained him not only as a future ruler, but as a servant of Allah first. He learned that true power was never about pride or domination. A ruler carried responsibility for every weak person, every injustice, and every soul living under his authority. These lessons shaped the young boy's heart long before he would ever sit upon a throne. Then came the moments that shocked everyone around him. During disputes and difficult judgments, Sulaiman displayed wisdom far beyond his age. His decisions were fair, intelligent, and deeply thoughtful. People began realizing this was no ordinary child being prepared for leadership. Allah was shaping him for something much greater. Soon, the winds themselves would obey his command. Birds would carry messages under his rule. And the Jinn, the powerful unseen beings feared for generations, would one day stand in obedience before him. But with such unimaginable power would come terrifying tests, hidden enemies, and dangers no human kingdom had ever faced before. And this was only the beginning of the story. The morning sky above Jerusalem felt strangely different. The winds that normally rushed across the valleys suddenly slowed into silence, as if the world itself was waiting for something extraordinary to happen. Inside the palace, Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam stood alone in prayer, his heart completely focused on Allah. He did not ask for endless riches. He did not ask for fame or glory. Instead, he asked for a kingdom that would allow him to establish justice and truth in a way no ruler before him ever had. His sincerity shook the heavens. And in that historic moment, Allah accepted the prayer of his prophet. What happened next would change both the human world and the unseen world forever. The winds began moving under Sulaiman's command. Birds gathered around him in perfect order. And deep within the hidden world of the Jinn, fear spread like fire through darkness. Powerful unseen creatures suddenly realized something impossible had happened. A human being had been granted authority over them by the command of Allah himself. The Jinn fell silent. Creatures once feared by mankind for their strength and mysterious abilities now stood powerless before the authority of Prophet Sulaiman. Some among them were enormous beings capable of lifting giant stones with ease. Others traveled across oceans and deserts faster than any human army could march. Many believed no force on earth could ever control them, yet Allah's command changed everything in a single moment. The strongest jinn lowered themselves in obedience. Hidden caves, ruined cities, and underground chambers filled with whispers of shock and disbelief. Some righteous jinn accepted the command peacefully, recognizing the greatness of Allah's chosen prophet. But others burned with anger and pride. They could not accept that creatures made from smokeless fire had been placed beneath the rule of a human being. Still, none of them could resist the authority Allah had granted to Sulaiman. For the first time in history, the unseen world itself had been forced to obey a prophet walking among mankind. Soon, the kingdom of Sulaiman transformed into something the world had never witnessed before. Massive palaces rose from the earth in astonishing speed. Hidden treasures were recovered from beneath the oceans. Great halls, towers, and tunnels appeared across the empire, while humans watched in amazement, unable to understand how such impossible work was being completed so quickly. The jinn labored day and night under the command of Sulaiman Alayhis Salam, terrified of disobedience, yet secretly carrying fear and tension deep within their hearts. Prophet Sulaiman, however, never allowed pride to consume him. He constantly reminded himself that every miracle, every power, and every victory belonged only to Allah. But beneath the greatness of this hidden kingdom, darkness had already begun growing inside the unseen world. Certain jinn quietly waited for weakness, others dreamed of rebellion, and far beneath the magnificent empire being built by unseen forces, dangerous secrets were slowly beginning to awaken. The kingdom of Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam was becoming something the world had never seen before. Travelers arriving from distant lands stood frozen in disbelief the moment they saw the empire rising across the horizon. Massive palaces covered in gold and shining stone appeared almost overnight. Towering gates stretched high into the sky. Enormous courtyards reflected sunlight like mirrors, while hidden chambers beneath the earth carried secrets no ordinary human could fully understand. The people admired the beauty of the kingdom, but very few knew the terrifying truth hidden behind its construction. These wonders were not being built by human hands alone. Deep beneath the surface of the empire, unseen forces moved through darkness, carrying stones larger than entire houses. The jinn worked silently under the command Allah had given to Prophet Sulaiman, building an empire unlike anything in human history. Every night, while the people slept peacefully inside the city, the hidden world beneath the kingdom came alive. Powerful jinn moved through underground tunnels, stretching across deserts and mountains. Some carried treasures recovered from the depths of oceans. Others shaped marble, gold, and crystal into magnificent structures impossible for ordinary builders to create in such short time. Strange sounds echoed beneath the palace walls as unseen creatures labored without rest. Human guards standing near certain tunnels often reported hearing whispers in unknown languages or seeing shadows move where no person stood. Fear quietly spread among some workers, but none dared question the authority of Sulaiman Alayhis Salam. The jinn themselves feared him far more than humans feared them. Allah had placed a command upon these creatures that none could escape. Even the strongest among them were forced into obedience before the prophet chosen by Allah. But hidden inside this glorious kingdom was a darkness slowly beginning to grow. Not every jinn accepted their servitude willingly. Some obeyed only because they had no choice. While deep inside their hearts burned anger and pride, they believed creatures made from smokeless fire should never bow before mankind. Secret whispers of rebellion slowly spread through underground chambers hidden beneath the empire. Certain jinn gathered in darkness, speaking about freedom, revenge, and the day Sulaiman's rule would finally end. Yet above the ground, Prophet Sulaiman remained humble despite the unimaginable power surrounding him. He knew every miracle came only from Allah, and he constantly prayed for guidance and protection. But unknown to the people celebrating the greatness of the kingdom, dangerous forces were already moving beneath their feet. And soon, the hidden empire built by unseen hands would face a darkness far more terrifying than anyone could imagine. Inside the kingdom of Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam, Countless jinn served under the authority Allah had granted to His Prophet. Some worked deep beneath the earth, building tunnels and hidden chambers. Others traveled across oceans, recovering treasures lost for centuries. Many obeyed Sulaiman with loyalty because they recognized him as a prophet chosen by Allah. But not all of them served willingly. Some obeyed only out of fear. They feared the punishment waiting for any jinn who dared challenge the command placed upon Sulaiman. Every corner of the unseen world understood one terrifying truth: no creature could escape the authority Allah had given to this human ruler. Yet among all the jinn serving inside the hidden kingdom, there was one mysterious being whose name spread fear even among his own kind. He was different from the others, more powerful, more dangerous, and surrounded by whispers, no one dared speak loudly. The mysterious jinn rarely appeared before humans. Most people only heard stories about him from frightened workers and loyal servants inside the underground kingdom. Some claimed he could cross enormous distances within moments. Others believed he possessed strength greater than entire groups of jinn combined. Whenever impossible tasks were given inside the kingdom, this terrifying servant stepped forward without hesitation. Hidden treasures buried beneath oceans were recovered in astonishing speed. Massive stones too heavy for hundreds of men were moved as though they weighed nothing. Even rebellious jinn feared standing against him. During one gathering inside the royal court, Prophet Sulaiman asked who among the jinn could bring the throne of the Queen of Sheba before her arrival. Silence filled the chamber until the mysterious servant stepped forward confidently, promising to deliver it before the gathering even ended. The unseen world itself seemed to freeze at his words. Such power was almost beyond imagination. Yet despite his terrifying abilities, he remained completely powerless before the command of Allah and His Prophet. But hidden beneath his obedience was something darker. The mysterious jinn carried secrets no human fully understood. Some loyal servants whispered that he spent long hours alone in the deepest underground tunnels beneath the palace. Others claimed he knew hidden knowledge about rebellious jinn spreading chaos across the unseen world. Prophet Sulaiman watched carefully, understanding that power without sincerity could become dangerous. Even among the unseen creatures serving his kingdom, hidden darkness could still exist. As tensions quietly grew beneath the empire, strange rumors began spreading among the jinn about secret meetings and whispers of rebellion. The mysterious servant remained loyal outwardly, but many wondered what truly existed inside his heart. And soon, an event connected to the hidden kingdom beneath Sulaiman's throne would reveal terrifying secrets about the unseen world that no one was prepared to face. Beneath the magnificent palace of Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam, far below the golden halls and towering walls admired by the people, another world existed in complete secrecy. It was a hidden kingdom buried deep beneath the earth, a maze of tunnels, chambers, underground rivers, and shadow-filled pathways where humans were never meant to wander. During the day, the empire above looked peaceful and glorious, filled with disciplined armies and breathtaking structures. But when darkness covered the kingdom at night, strange sounds echoed beneath the palace floors. Heavy footsteps moved through underground tunnels, fires burned without smoke deep below the earth, and unseen creatures traveled silently through the shadows, carrying out commands given only by Prophet Sulaiman. Most humans knew nothing about this hidden world, and those few who accidentally witnessed parts of it rarely spoke about what they saw ever again. The underground kingdom was controlled entirely by the jinn serving under Sulaiman's authority. Some chambers stretched so deep beneath the earth that even experienced guards became lost trying to explore them. Massive hidden halls were carved into stone where powerful jinn gathered before receiving instructions. Certain tunnels connected distant deserts, mountains, and oceans, allowing unseen servants to travel enormous distances without being detected. Strange glowing lights illuminated parts of the underground world, while ancient treasures recovered from forgotten ruins were stored in hidden chambers no ordinary human could enter. Workers inside the palace often whispered stories about hearing voices beneath the floors at night, or seeing shadows move along walls where nobody stood. Fear surrounded the hidden kingdom beneath the throne, because everyone understood one terrifying truth: creatures beyond human understanding lived directly beneath their feet. But despite the obedience forced upon the jinn, darkness quietly grew inside the underground world. Some of the unseen creatures hated serving mankind and secretly dreamed of freedom from Sulaiman's rule. Deep inside hidden chambers far below the palace, whispers of rebellion slowly spread through the tunnels. Certain jinn gathered in darkness, discussing dangerous plans while pretending loyalty before the kingdom above. Prophet Sulaiman understood these dangers better than anyone. He knew the unseen world carried pride, anger, and corruption, capable of destroying entire empires if left unchecked. That is why he constantly turned toward Allah for protection and guidance, never trusting power alone. Yet unknown to most people inside the kingdom, strange events had already begun unfolding beneath the palace. Loyal jinn were disappearing without explanation. Terrifying screams echoed through underground tunnels at night, and somewhere deep beneath Sulaiman's throne, something dark was beginning to awaken. Not every jinn accepted the rule of Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam willingly. While many obeyed the command Allah had placed upon them, others carried hatred deep within their hearts. They believed creatures made from smokeless fire were superior to mankind and could never accept bowing before a human ruler. Deep beneath the kingdom, inside abandoned tunnels and hidden underground chambers, whispers of rebellion slowly began spreading through the unseen world. Secret gatherings took place far from human sight, where angry jinn spoke about freedom, revenge, and the downfall of Sulaiman's empire. At the center of this growing darkness stood a terrifying jinn, feared even among his own kind. He was powerful, intelligent, and consumed by pride. Unlike the loyal servants working beneath the kingdom, this dark creature refused to accept human authority in his heart. He waited patiently in the shadows, searching for weakness inside the empire Allah had built around his prophet. As the rebellion quietly grew, strange events began shaking the hidden kingdom beneath the palace. Underground workers disappeared without explanation. Massive construction projects collapsed mysteriously during the night. Human guards stationed near secret tunnels reported hearing terrifying screams echoing beneath the earth after midnight. Even loyal jinn started growing afraid. Rumors spread that the rebellious leader had gathered dangerous followers deep inside forgotten chambers, hidden far below Sulaiman's throne. These dark jinn believed that if fear and chaos spread across the kingdom, they could weaken the control Prophet Sulaiman held over the unseen world. Some began secretly sabotaging work inside the empire while pretending obedience during the day. Others spread lies among weaker jinn, convincing them that Sulaiman's power would not last forever. The hidden kingdom built by unseen forces slowly became divided between loyalty and rebellion, while darkness continued spreading beneath the surface like a silent disease. But Prophet Sulaiman sensed the danger long before anyone else understood how serious it had become. Despite controlling powerful armies of men, birds, and jinn, he never depended on power alone. He turned constantly toward Allah for guidance and protection, knowing that pride and corruption could destroy even the strongest kingdom from within. One night, loyal servants rushed before him, carrying terrifying news. The rebellious jinn leader had vanished along with several dangerous followers, escaping into hidden regions beneath the earth, unknown even to many jinn themselves. Fear spread rapidly across both the visible and unseen worlds. Something far more dangerous than rebellion was beginning to awaken in the darkness. And as the underground tunnels beneath the kingdom fell silent, Prophet Sulaiman realized his greatest battle would not be against armies or kings, but against the hidden evil growing deep within the unseen world itself. The kingdom of Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam was unlike anything the world had ever witnessed. Travelers arriving from distant lands often stood speechless the moment they saw the greatness of his empire. Massive armies marched across deserts in perfect order, while birds filled the skies above like organized guardians watching over the kingdom. But the true mystery of Sulaiman's rule was not the beauty of his palaces or the size of his armies. It was the extraordinary powers Allah had granted him. The wind itself moved under his command by Allah's permission, carrying him across enormous distances faster than any army could travel. Journeys that once required months were completed within days. People watched in amazement as nature obeyed the words of a human prophet chosen by Allah. Yet despite these unimaginable miracles, Sulaiman never allowed pride to enter his heart because he understood that every blessing belonged only to Allah. Among the greatest miracles inside the kingdom was Sulaiman's ability to understand the speech of birds and animals. Every sound carried meaning before him. Birds became messengers, gathering information from distant lands, while animals moved with unusual discipline throughout the empire. One small bird, known as Hudhud, would later uncover secrets that changed history forever. But the most terrifying power inside the kingdom remained hidden beneath the surface. The unseen world itself operated under Sulaiman's authority. Powerful Jinn worked day and night building massive structures, recovering treasures from oceans, and traveling across distant lands, carrying out commands impossible for ordinary humans to achieve. Some Jinn possessed incredible strength, while others moved faster than the human eye could follow. Hidden tunnels beneath the palace stretched across deserts and mountains where unseen creatures silently carried out their duties in fear of disobedience. The entire kingdom functioned like a world balanced between visible reality and unseen forces. But every miracle surrounding Prophet Sulaiman carried a terrifying responsibility. The unseen world beneath his command was filled with creatures capable of darkness, pride, and rebellion. Not every jinn obeyed willingly. Some secretly hated mankind and waited for opportunities to break free from Sulaiman's authority. Prophet Sulaiman understood these dangers better than anyone else. That is why he remained constantly connected to Allah through worship, prayer, and humility. He knew that no power survives without Allah's protection. Even the winds obeying him and the jinn serving beneath his kingdom could become a test if arrogance entered his heart. As the empire continued growing stronger, hidden tensions inside the unseen world also grew more dangerous. Strange whispers spread beneath the underground kingdom, and dark forces slowly gathered beyond human sight. Soon, Prophet Sulaiman would face a challenge that would test not only the strength of his kingdom, but the very balance between the seen and unseen worlds themselves. One morning, Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam stood before his great army as humans, jinn, and birds gathered in perfect order beneath the rising sun. Everything inside the kingdom moved with discipline and precision. No creature disappeared without reason. No servant acted outside command. But on that particular day, something unusual caught Sulaiman's attention. One bird was missing. It was Hudhud, the small hoopoe bird trusted with carrying information across distant lands. The atmosphere immediately changed. Sulaiman understood that even the smallest absence inside such a powerful kingdom could carry hidden meaning. While others saw only a missing bird, destiny was already unfolding far beyond the borders of the empire. Somewhere across deserts and mountains, a forgotten kingdom waited to be discovered, a kingdom that would soon shock the entire empire of Sulaiman. After some time, Hudhud suddenly returned, flying rapidly toward the royal gathering with urgency and fear. The bird carried news unlike anything anyone expected to hear. Far beyond the known territories, Hudhud had discovered a powerful and wealthy empire called Sheba. Its lands were filled with magnificent palaces, flowing gardens, gold, and unmatched beauty. At the center of this mysterious kingdom ruled a queen respected for her intelligence and leadership. But there was one dangerous truth hidden behind the greatness of her empire. Despite all their knowledge and power, the people of Sheba worshipped the sun instead of Allah. The moment Hudhud revealed this information, silence spread across the gathering. Prophet Sulaiman realized this was not simply the discovery of another kingdom. It was a test connected to truth, guidance, and the future of both nations. The hidden world beneath Sulaiman's empire also reacted with curiosity, because even the jinn understood that something extraordinary was beginning. Prophet Sulaiman immediately prepared a message for the Queen of Sheba, inviting her toward peace and submission to Allah. Hudhud carried the letter across vast deserts until it finally arrived inside the Queen's royal palace. The moment she read the message, fear and confusion spread throughout her court. She had heard rumors about Sulaiman's unimaginable power stories about winds obeying him, birds speaking to him, and unseen creatures serving beneath his authority. But now, the reality stood directly before her eyes. Advisors argued about whether Sulaiman was merely a powerful king or something far greater. Meanwhile, inside the hidden kingdom beneath Sulaiman's throne, the Jinn quietly prepared for what might come next. Some gathered information about Sheba, while others whispered about the wealth and mysteries hidden inside the distant empire. Yet, unknown to everyone involved, this journey toward Sheba would soon lead to one of the most astonishing moments in the history of Prophet Sulaiman's kingdom, a moment involving impossible power, a royal throne, and secrets from the unseen world that would leave both humans and jinn speechless. The kingdom of Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam appeared more powerful than ever before. Massive palaces stood across the empire, shining beneath the desert sun, while armies of humans, birds, and jinn moved in perfect order under his command. The wind still carried him across distant lands by Allah's permission, and hidden underground tunnels beneath the palace remained filled with unseen workers, building wonders beyond human imagination. To the people, it seemed impossible that such a kingdom could ever weaken. Travelers spoke about Suleiman's empire with fear and admiration, believing no force on earth could challenge the ruler chosen by Allah. But beneath the greatness and silence surrounding the kingdom, something far more dangerous had already begun. A final test was quietly approaching, one that would shake both the visible world and the unseen world forever. Strange signs slowly started appearing throughout the empire. Loyal jinn reported unusual fear spreading deep beneath the underground kingdom. Certain unseen servants disappeared without explanation, while others whispered about hidden gatherings taking place in forgotten tunnels far below the palace. Human guards standing watch during the night claimed they heard terrifying sounds echoing beneath the earth after midnight. Even the birds flying above the kingdom behaved strangely, as if sensing a danger nobody else could fully understand. Prophet Sulaiman noticed every sign carefully. Despite controlling immense power, he remained humble and constantly turned toward Allah in prayer. He knew no kingdom survives through strength alone. Every blessing granted by Allah also carries responsibility and test. And somewhere within the hidden world beneath his empire, darkness was slowly gathering in silence. Then came the moment nobody expected. Prophet Sulaiman withdrew into worship and reflection, leaning peacefully upon his staff while overseeing the affairs of the kingdom. Days passed, then weeks. To everyone around him, it appeared as though the mighty ruler still stood watching over the empire, exactly as before. The jinn continued their labor beneath the kingdom in complete fear, terrified of punishment if they slowed their work or disobeyed commands. Massive structures continued rising, while underground tunnels remained active day and night. But hidden behind that silence was a truth known only to Allah. Prophet Sulaiman had already returned to his creator. The unseen world did not realize the ruler they feared was no longer alive. Then, by Allah's command, a small creature slowly ate through the wooden staff supporting his body until it finally broke apart. The moment Sulaiman's body fell, shock exploded across both the human and unseen worlds. The jinn froze in terror as the greatest truth became clear before everyone. Despite all their power, they never possessed knowledge of the unseen. And in one unforgettable moment, Allah shattered the pride of every creature who believed power alone made them great. The kingdom of Prophet Sulaiman Alayhis Salam continued moving exactly as it always had. The underground tunnels beneath the palace remained active, while unseen servants carried stones through darkness, and massive structures continued rising across the empire. Human guards still stood watch over the royal palace, believing their ruler remained alive, silently overseeing every movement inside the kingdom. Deep beneath the earth, the jinn kept working in fear, terrified that any sign of laziness or rebellion would bring punishment upon them. Day after day, nothing appeared unusual. The empire still looked powerful. The hidden world still obeyed. But unknown to every human and every jinn inside the kingdom, a shocking truth had already changed everything. Prophet Sulaiman had returned to Allah long before anyone realized it. Leaning peacefully upon his wooden staff, his body remained standing while the entire kingdom unknowingly continued under the shadow of his presence. As time passed, the Jinn continued their labor beneath the earth without question. Some built massive halls beneath the palace, while others traveled through hidden tunnels connecting distant parts of the empire. Even the rebellious Jinn, who once dreamed of freedom, remained silent in fear, believing Sulaiman still watched them. The unseen world had always considered itself powerful, mysterious, and superior in knowledge compared to mankind. Many humans feared the Jinn because of their abilities, speed, and hidden existence. But Allah was preparing to expose a truth that would shatter their pride forever. Slowly, by Allah's command, a small creature began eating through the wooden staff supporting Prophet Sulaiman's body. Day after day, the wood weakened while the entire kingdom remained unaware that its mighty ruler was no longer alive. Then came the moment that changed everything forever. The staff suddenly broke, and the body of Prophet Sulaiman fell to the ground before the eyes of both humans and Jinn. Silence consumed the kingdom. Fear spread through the underground world faster than fire through dry land. The Jinn froze in terror as the horrifying reality became clear. For all their powers and abilities, they had never known the unseen truth hidden directly before them. If they truly possessed knowledge of the unseen, they would have known the exact moment Prophet Sulaiman passed away. But Allah exposed their weakness before the entire kingdom in a single unforgettable moment. The pride of rebellious Jinn collapsed instantly. Humans realized that absolute knowledge belongs only to Allah alone. The hidden kingdom beneath the throne slowly faded after Sulaiman's death, and the unseen servants scattered across deserts, ruins, and forgotten places throughout the world. Yet the greatest lesson remained forever. Power can disappear in a moment. Kingdoms can rise and fall, but no creation, human or Jinn, can ever possess the knowledge and authority that belong only to Allah.